up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of Voices of Slik Wrld, where the conversations get real and the stories haven't made it to social media yet. Now, I use that intro for everybody, but it actually rings true today. And today's guest is the man, if I do say so myself. I love his music. I love his podcast. I love him. I love everything about it. And if you haven't figured it out yet, I'm your guest today. That's why I'm in a different area. It's just going to be me today. I'm actually doing something that I haven't done in a long time on this episode. I'm going to talk about some deep stuff. So really, what this came down to is I started doing all this different stuff, and I love making music. I mean, like, all this is cool, the podcast, everything. I love doing that too, but I really love making music, and I found myself just making, like, quick songs, catchy songs, which I really like. Like, I love my music, but I just kept asking myself, like, why do I do music? So I'm going to do a little series of this where I break down just some of my childhood, and maybe we could figure it out together. But I wrote last night, like, a little school essay. I got 5 chapters. I'm going to read a chapter, and then I'm going to break it down for you guys. It's titled, Why Do I Make Music? So we'll just jump right in. So the introduction, I said, why do I make music? A very good question that I plan to break down into all parts. There are many different reasons why I love music. From my parents blaring it my whole childhood to lyrics that stand out to me or that I can relate to. I'm not much different from anyone else or have a gift, as they say, but I have always felt like I have broken down lyrics to a deeper meaning. Music has shaped me into the person that I am today, and it's not just one genre. I find meaning in any kind of music, even if it's just a beat. Lately, I have been questioning the meaning of my music to know why I really do it, and I'm hoping this little short biography can help me find that. So that's the introduction. But yeah, so I'm not like gifted or like too talented than anybody else, you know what I mean? But I always felt like when music plays, like, the lyrics are jumping out to me. I'm breaking them down more than the face value. Like, I'm always telling my friends, like, this is what he means if I hear it in another song, you know? So I've always felt like that ever since I was a kid. And just anything that I could relate to or that I was like wanting for an image, or does that make sense? Like, I would, if I heard it and that's the way I wanted to live or that's the way I was living, it would jump out to me. So that's really all that is to me. But yeah, I always love music and lyrics, and if I can relate to it, the better. Like, I love a good beat, I love a good head bob, but you gotta be telling me something, man. But yeah, so we're gonna get a little deeper with this one. Chapter 1 is called Parent Impact. I said, first and foremost, I go by the name Sliky Rick, a name I was given by my boy Gotti V. Shout out to my boy Gotti. When we were recording together, I remember throughout the night he would tell me, I'm going to figure out a nickname for y'all before the end of the night. And Sliky Rick is what he landed on, and I have since ran with it, and it has stuck with most of my fan base. I take a lot of pride in my name. It's what people see first and know me more than my name Eric, which is my real name for y'all that don't know. I love music at a really young age, thanks to my parents. Now, my parents were and are heavy drinkers. They grew up in the 90s, so yeah, the house party era. They never lost that part of them, so as a child, they would drink and blare 90s greatest hits on my dad's surround system. Very loud. Although I love the music, not every time they did it was ideal. As you sit around enough and you see friends and family join, and the confidence they always had with alcohol in their systems, it made it really easy to seem like it was a fun lifestyle. A lot of times, even me and my brother's friends would say to us that we had the fun parents and wish they could do those things with their parents. Don't get me wrong, I'm very grateful for the childhood and the parents I had. Let me stop right there. I love my parents to death. They did the best they could. They did what they knew how to do, but it fucked up my life a little bit. But yeah, so I said, don't get me wrong, I'm very, very grateful for the childhood and parents I had, but it created a lot of trauma and bond-breaking moments that at the time were normal to me. I knew what type of mood my dad was in depending on the song that was playing. If Hootie Hoo by Wu-Tang was playing, he was wanting motivation, or he was in a good mood or trying to impress somebody. If it was Spice One or Too Short, he was usually trying to piss off my mom, get her to fight with him, and she knew that as well. But I learned the effect on energy and moods that music could cause, whether it was good, bad, happy, sad, or just to bring you back to a time in life. So yeah, to break down that, when I was growing up, I'm not going to dog on my parents too much, but yeah, so they drunk probably every other night, blared music, house party, that's what they like to do, but it was always fighting at the end of the night, always back and forth, friends coming in, fighting, just a lot of high intensity. I'm not saying we didn't have fun. It was fun. But a lot of shit a kid probably shouldn't go through, shouldn't see, but I am who I am today for it. But yeah, so they would drink and blare music, just our whole childhood. Our friends would come over. They didn't care. They were going to do the same thing regardless. But so I always had music. And like when I tell you my dad's surround system was booming, it was booming. Like the windows in the house were shaking. Neighbors heard every song we played, all that, right? So, but yeah, so I always had music just blaring in my ears at all times. So I had no other choice but to listen to it. You know what I mean? Kind of just like run into it. You know what I mean? But yeah, so chapter 2 is called Escaping My Childhood. I said, now, although it was blaring at me, I always found a way to escape into the music and drown everything out. So on nights like that, me and my brother and his homie would put beats on to freestyle just for fun. I found quickly that I could get away with saying a little more if I just rhymed the next sentence with it. I always loved being the center of attention anyways. I would always take my mom's phone and take pictures and videos of me freestyling. Watching celebrities and the freedom they seemed they had being a person who made music as a job, I knew I wanted to have that freedom as well. I studied the way people would make music, from the way things were said and how they laid on a beat, to also what you could do with wordplay and a catchy rhythm. Studying music was a lot easier than trying to sort out what was ever happening around me, and hearing other people struggle and seeing what they turned it into always stuck out to me because I was going to do the same thing. So yeah, so like I said, I always had music blaring in my ears, and we always had like a lot of people over, so they were either like fighting, yelling, drinking, cussing, doing whatever it is that they do. So for me, it was easy to just let me focus on someone else's life, like with the like what they're saying, what their struggle was, and how they turn it into something else. So I would just find what they would say, and I would put myself in their shoes like a movie. Like I would paint the movie in my head from what they would say, and it was just easier than dealing with what was actually happening in my life. You know what I mean? So I just always wanted to put myself in someone else's life so I could avoid mine, I guess, necessarily. But yeah, so that's pretty much a wrap up of that chapter. When I said I would always take my mom's phone and take pictures and videos, if you go to her Facebook, you'll see them. They're there. But yeah, I'd always just that's what I wanted to do. And then when I say I saw the freedom that rappers looked like they had, like I didn't know the music game or the industry. I didn't know anything. I just saw a bunch of guys with girls, money, living a life that seemed fairy tale. You know what I mean? So I would just put myself in that. Chapter 3 is called Grown Up Problems. I said, like every kid, I thought life was tough, when in reality, the older you get, the harder life gets. I wanted to grow up so I could feel that freedom I mentioned earlier. Thinking I had till 18 to avoid real life responsibilities, reality hit me hard at 17 when my father accidentally took his own life. I had friends and family friends pass away before this, but none that hit this close before. I was devastated and really for the first time in my life saw death more brought to light. When people say if you think funerals are hard, just wait till you're front row at one, they're not kidding. After some time went by after his passing, I took on more adult responsibilities and learned fast that 9-to-5s are not for me. Not knocking them, I just don't want that for me. I really wanted to do music and thought, what a better time than to throw my own show for my dad's 1-year anniversary of his passing. So I recorded my first ever song and my first ever album and planned a show and did just that. Now every time I go through something that hurts my feelings or changes my life drastically, I run to the studio. And honestly, even if I'm not rapping about whatever it is that made me go there, I just feel better. So yeah, for my deep people, this is where it is going to get deep. And if you're a kid or don't like anything gruesome or like that, probably just skip this part because I'm going to go in about my dad. So yeah, when I was 17, we had just recently moved. Still drinking, still living the same life, but now I'm 17 at this point. So I'm going to school, I'm going to work, doing all that. Not like recording music or yet, not that I just worked at the movie theater. But yeah, I went to school one day. It was October 1st, 2020. Had a bad day at school. It was also picture day. So yeah, I have a school picture of the day that my dad did this. So but yeah, so you can even tell in the picture I'm grumpy. I drive home, Get out of my car, realize that I locked my keys in the car. Now, my brother and my dad and my mom are all on the porch smoking, drinking, doing what they do. If you know them, you know what they're doing. But my dad came down and my brother got a hanger, spent like an hour trying to get my keys out the car. And it was really fun. Like, if I wasn't in a bad mood already, like now when I look back on it, like those, I should have been in the moment, you know what I mean? But yeah, so I got the keys out. And then a few nights before this, me and my dad got into it to where we actually threw fists at each other. He's dead now, so I could say I beat him up, and he can't say otherwise. So no, I'm just playing. But yeah, so pieced him up a little bit. But then that day, after we got the keys out of my car, he pulled me in to the kitchen and was like, "Hey man, I just want to let you know I don't remember much from the other night. I was drunk. I just got in the shower. Yesterday was the day before." And he's like, "My head was sore washing my hair." And he's like, "So I just want to say I'm sorry for whatever happened." And I gave him a hug, and thankfully, and I'm very grateful for this next part, the last thing I ever said to my dad was, "It's okay, I love you." So we had the I love you, we made up. And then I remember the Broncos were playing the Jets that night, and I'm a big Broncos fan. And he was like, "You want to watch the Broncos game?" And I was like, "Honestly, Dad, I'm very tired. I've had a bad day. I'm probably just going to go kick in my room and go to bed probably." You know what I mean? So I did that. My brother and them left. I fell asleep. I woke up to a really loud boom. And I thought it was just my dad and my mom getting into a physical altercation. If you don't know, now you know. It happened on a regular basis. So nothing new. Just thought I was just like irritated already. Had a bad day, so I was like, "We're gonna do this again." You know what I mean? So as I'm going to put on my pants, I thinking I'm going out here to fight him because I'm thinking he's like body slam my mom or you know what I mean? I don't know, but because they were drunk playing music, I don't know. I was asleep. So I'm putting on my pants and I open the door and my mom screams. She was like, "Your dad just shot himself," and runs to my room, screaming, panicking, freaking out. And I just woke up, so I'm like still not there. So I run out to the living room and I see my dad on the couch. Gun fell like right next to him. His head's like hanging down, blood coming out his mouth. And honestly, I don't know why, but I just woke up, so I think they're fucking with me, kind of. You know what I mean? So I was like I'm thinking ketchup's falling out of his mouth or something, some dumb shit. You know what I mean? Because I don't know, it just didn't seem like that at the time. And then he made these weird hiccup noises, and I was like, "Oh, this is probably for real." So I call 911. My mom's screaming, and for some reason, you always hear about how you're supposed to be a man, how when things happen, you got to be more in control or whatever, and whatever you want to say, you know what I mean? And I just remember being so calm during this, which was weird because I have very bad anxiety, so usually at the slightest change I'm freaking out. But for some reason, I was really calm. I was really calm with the 911 operator. I was really calm trying to take care of my mom. And then I'm also trying to talk to him. I'm like, "Should I give him CPR?" My mom's like, "That's not going to do nothing." So I just held him until they got there. Then yeah, we went outside. He ended up passing away. The story is earlier in the night, he the neighbor was doing something and he cocked his gun back, and then I think he got too drunk. And he's dumb with his gun when he's drunk, and I don't think he remembered one was in there. But I don't really know. The older I get, the more I kind of understand how he was, and that he just kind of, instead of being better, he just drowned it with alcohol. Because I have life is hard. I get it, you know what I mean. And the older I get, the more I understand why, how easy it was for him to just hide in the alcohol. But I'm grateful enough that he did it, and I saw that, so I know I don't need to do that. So yeah, but yeah, that really sucked. And to bring it back to music, that's when I started really recording music. And now when I do it, like I said, even if I go in there, I've been through a lot of stuff, you know what I mean? Friends passing, you go through breakups, you go through regular life shit, you know what I mean? Nothing nobody else has been through before, you know what I mean? But whenever something like that happens, I just go to the studio, and even if I make a song and I don't say anything about what made me go there, I just feel better, you know what I mean? So all this was for me to figure out why I do music. And honestly, I would love to give you I just want to help somebody, but 90% of the time it's so I can help me. You know what I mean? Like, instead of drinking, I'm going to go make something that has a positive vibe for me and other people. You know what I mean? But yeah, so that's the hardest chapter. But yeah, so heartbreak, death, change in scenery, something that didn't go your way, bad day. I just want to go make a song. Even if it has nothing to do with that. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. I don't write, whatever. You know what I mean? But chapter 4, the conclusion. So I said, so in conclusion, I guess my deeper Chapter 4, I can't read. Let me restart. So in conclusion, I guess my deeper meaning is a few things. An escape from reality, a way to connect my inner child who has not healed, and to feel closer to my parents and fulfill what they found their peace in, music. For anyone reading or listening to this, and you can relate to my story and or my music, I want you to know that you're not alone. I know how it feels to be scared and unsafe, even from people who are supposed to bring us love and safety. You are not any weaker for letting those feelings cross over into your purpose as fuel or simply just the reason why. I love everything that has ever happened to me because I love who I am, and so should you. The world is ours, and every one of your stories matter. Slik Wrld. So yeah, when I say an escape from reality, go back to when I was a kid. Just put myself in someone else's life so I don't have to do mine. A way to connect my inner child who is not healed. Back then it was normal to me, you know what I mean, what was going on. It was my everyday, so it was normal. And then as you get older in life and you try to fit that into your new life, and you have your new people that didn't grow up with you are like, yeah, that's not normal, that's not good, you know what I mean? So you start to realize and question a lot of things about yourself. And when I'm recording music, it's just me and that not healed. It's not people telling me how I should be. It's not me expecting to be better than what I was shown. It's just me and my inner child. And then to feel closer to my parents and fulfill what they found their peace in. Like I said, the older I get, the more I understand my dad. My mom is the hardest working person I know and went through all that and is still kicking, and she's not perfect either, and probably has a lot of the same issues that my dad had, and them being together so long, she learned his. But they always had one common ground, and that was music. I think that's what all of us had for our one common ground, was music. And I'll never forget that. So I think when I do music, I feel like you always want to make your parents proud. So I always feel like, you know what I mean, I'm doing it for that grounding piece. And yeah, for anyone reading or listening, if you can relate, that's beautiful. I hope you had a better childhood. I mean, there's always worse and there's always better than what you had, you know what I mean? But I'm grateful for everything that happened to me, because I wouldn't be who I am today, and I love who I am, and it took me a lot to get here. It took me a lot of hard shit that I didn't want to go through, that I had to go through so I can learn. It also took the mistakes I made going through those, thinking they were the right decisions, and they weren't, but I had to make them so I could learn that they weren't the right decisions. Sometimes the only way to learn something for yourself is to go through it. I've always chosen the hard way to learn stuff, but yeah, man, I'm grateful for it all, and I just want everybody to know all of your stories matter, whether it's you had a good life, you know what I mean, you still matter. If you didn't have a good life, you know what I mean, talk about it, you still matter. You're not just another person that had a bad life that can't do nothing because you had a bad life, you know what I mean. We all got the same 24 hours. We all go through shit, even if it ain't the same, you know what I mean. But yeah, man, I appreciate y'all. That's like a little more sentimental than what I've been doing, but I definitely want to do more like this, because like I said, this isn't for attention or to be like, oh, poor me. This is, if anyone can relate or understand, I want y'all to know that you're not alone. And then also, I just want y'all to know me behind all this. Like, it's cool if you like my music and my podcast, but if you can know me and understand me, that's just gonna make you fuck with it even more, you know what I mean? But yeah, man, it's your boy Slik. That's all I have for you. Like I said, I'm gonna do a series. I'm gonna break down like more stuff that happened throughout my childhood, teenage, and even my life now, into why I am the way that I am and why I do what I do. But yeah, man, I hope y'all enjoyed. I appreciate y'all for coming back for another episode of Voices with Slik Wrld. My other 3 episodes, maybe 4 episodes at this time, I don't know yet. I don't know which one's coming first, but you can find them all on the page. They're beautiful. Also, sorry for the distortion in the mic. My dumbass did not know that you're supposed to, the mic that I have, you turn it down. So it's been super high, and then like me, I'm just excited. We recorded it. I'm going to put it out, but my audio people that know what they're doing in audio, like Daz Ashton, they're like, oh, you got to turn that down. So hopefully this is a little better. I haven't listened to it yet, but hopefully this is a little better. And yeah, I'm just grinding. Everything coming soon, man. I appreciate you guys to death. And yeah, appreciate y'all fucking with me. Slik.